Hey YouTube, it's Bill in the Hills. I went a different route this time. Instead of trying to lighten my load, I actually just to see for once, see how much I could get in here and see how many uses I can get out of it. Now this is just like my cooking gear, and it may even be my heater. It may be a bunch of different things. It's just an old Peak stove or cook kit that I've had for quite some time. Now, just to get started, let's see. Now, of course, it comes with this stuff here, with the pot and a small plate or a lid for something. And I'll just pull all this stuff out of here and let's see what all we can find. Now, the only thing plumbing related in this video, of course, is some plumbing strap. Let me set this out of the way. This is, of course, like I said, the two pots, and there's a cup that comes with it also, right there. Okay, we'll set that out of the way. Now, some of this stuff, I really don't even know what I've got it in here for, but like I said, I just wanted to pack it full, see what all we could come up with, see if it's would be any use. Now, I'm going to put together a couple of these pieces. Let's see, that piece there. And I'm not even cleaned the sharp edges up too much on these a little bit, because I'm still playing around with it. But I have some steel wool, many uses. I have a little small char can here. Let's go ahead and set that out of the way. And of course my fire starter. I've got a little piece of stainless here that can be used for many things, as far as I've got making a grill top on one of these. The plumbing strap could probably be used as a grill top on these, as a small diffuser. Now I cut a couple of these out just to see if it's something I'd really want to try to have in here. This here is make it a little small wood burning stove. If you can get it right. Okay, it helps after a while. I've used these quite a bit here over the last few days, just testing this to kind of stretch these tabs back in shape each time, and then they'll stick and hold better for you. Try it one more time. Okay. Now let's see, that piece there. Of course, that, as you can see, could be a small wood burning stove with this piece here put together. Slide right over. For more vent, I've got this little piece here, which will probably work on some other things too. Like I said, it's just pieces. I was down there messing around trying to make some a small stove like this, and I thought, well, heck, if we can get uses out of just a few more pieces in here, it might be okay. Well, we got that guy there. Again, make a small platform up here out of a couple pieces of this to set your pot on. Now, I'm not a big fan of tall cooking systems like this that you got to keep putting wood in. They still blacken everything. You can cook with a small amount of fuel, but it still gets black, and you still got a lot of cleanup. So let's leave that together and set that right here. See what else we can come up with on these things. Now I've got a few more in here, quite a few more. I've got a couple here that we could set up, just those two together. Now that could work on probably several different systems that maybe people have. I know a lot of people carry the small stainless steel canisters for cooking. Step back so it won't blow back there with the ducts. Now there's another way here, with just a little bit of effort, reforming these things where you had it bent down in where I had it bent down in there. That could probably rest down in there easily. Just for a coal fire, if you have some coals, you go ahead and build your fire in here first. Now we can probably figure out a reason to use this. It's just a rack down on the inside here. There we go. We'll build a fire right in there, get some nice coals going, and probably squeeze that down in there with a little reshaping, and probably wouldn't blacken the pot so much. Now another way we can build our fire down in there, we can build a nice little tripod system and cook that up over the fire. Now let's see, what else can we do with this? If we, now some of these I got cut backwards. We put that together right there. And open this one up. There's a good chance with a little effort there, we can make this a makeshift little oven. Or even a bigger fire pit. I'm not going to try to push that down on there. It'd probably take too much time. Anyway, that'll probably, there we go. That'll go down on there, and with probably a little more effort, could probably make an oven out of that. Now, there's probably some other reasons a person could have this. If I took this cup right here, and I buried that down in the bottom of my fire pit with dirt up to it, if we took probably something of this nature, maybe a way to funnel that right down in there, so we could put like either game, birch bark, pine. We can bring the dirt up to the bottom of the cup here, and of course build a fire around here. We'd need a way to cap this off, which we could probably fabricate out of one of these. This is not aluminum, it's actually the thinner gauge pipe duct. Now they make some thicker gauge that if you had at least one piece with you, could probably work as a shovel really well. So if we made us a lid for this guy and build us a fire around here, we could probably render some drippings out of our meal. We can make some birch bark oil, some pine tar, but you'd pull all this back out. It would gather in this little cup here, whatever you gathered, and you can make salves and glues and fuel. Let's see. Let's set this out of the way. Now I'm trying to run through this pretty quick so it don't get too boring. These guys right here, I could probably maybe take this hook here or a piece of this little stainless. I could easily band me a nice Swedish torch together for cooking out of that. I could even make a fire or a windshield out of putting these back together and band my Swedish torch together to cook off of, and could probably easily figure out a way to where the pot's not sitting right on top of the torch as well. Now let's see, let's set that over here. Now if we took all of these guys together, let me see if I can pop these together right quick. Now I just took and cut short pieces. I've got a tool that just crimps these little edges on here, and I didn't take a lot of precise measurements. I just made sure it fit inside my pot there. And like I said, I hadn't even really cleaned them up. I'm hoping that I'll get some comments for some reasons why I shouldn't have all this with me, or what other ideas can be done with it. So now what I'm doing here, I think you can kind of see it coming together, is making a smokestack. Let's see, let's take that piece off. Now these pieces here, I've cut earlier down there whenever I was kind of putting this stuff together, and over the last few days. So let's just see what we can do with these guys. If we wanted to, maybe we could figure us out a way to making this a little heater right there. Maybe stabilize it by tying this up to the top of our shelter. Maybe even having it poking outside the shelter a little bit somehow so the smoke goes out. Now I can see maybe one other thing here. If we lose that, and try to make this pipe as long as possible, maybe even put that back together. If we dig us a small trench in the bottom of our shelter, maybe not much deeper than that right there would be, just a small trench, and maybe lay some live wood or some rock over it and cover it, build a fire over here at this end, and have this on the exterior of the shelter maybe as a vent pipe, which would draw the heat up under the rocks and out, or just like a Dakota fire. If you, I'm sure you're familiar with the Dakota fire. If not, there's a lot of videos out there. I'm pretty much YouTube taught myself. You could make a Dakota fire and have the radiant heat on the inside of your shelter, and all the smoke would go to the exterior of the shelter. So there's probably a ton more reasons why you could why you need to pack all this extra stuff in here, and all the different things you could possibly do with them. And there's probably a whole lot of reasons why you shouldn't have all this with you. And like I said, I think just by going through it, I believe just for my system, just popping these guys back apart, and like I said, once in a while stiffening these joints back up, just for mine personally, this right here is probably going to work for me best as far as a cooking system. That right there. Now I crimp that because this way it's much bigger, and you know, maybe that's better and I can reverse it, but this way it actually fit a little tighter. It give I might snap that together a whole lot better. There we go. And I can cook right on top too. Let's see. If I put my shelf back in there, and I laid that guy right there, let's do this a little bit different. Maybe like that. You know, we can cook just like that right there too.